Let's see how we create this guess the factor Flowgorithm program or flowchart. So first we want to create this output here. We'll click on the arrow and we will click output. Next, we will double click on the output and we will key open inverted comma, do you want to play? Since you want the user to key yes or no, remember to put it in your instruction, yes or no, and close inverted comma. Now, the open and close inverted comma indicate that this is a string or text. So remember to put this or there will be an error message later. So if you press play, you'll see that the output is do you want to play? Next, we will let the user key the answer. So just click on the arrow and the user will input the answer. But we need to declare that the user is keying the answer. So we will put the input as answer. But what type of answer is this? So we need to do something called declare. Click on the arrow here and click declare. Now what declare means is that after you double click, is we want to declare whether the user input, in this case, answer, right? Is it an integer, a real number, or a string? A string, once again, is a text. So we want the user to key yes or no, which is text. So we'll key string. Click on string and press OK. So now we inform the program that answer will be a text answer. The user has a choice to say yes or no. So click on this arrow here and choose if. If the user key yes, the true will happen. Otherwise, the false will happen. So we want the user to key yes. Double click on the if. This is a rhombus here. So we key if the answer is equals to yes. So what this means is just now when the user key the answer ANS, if they key this answer here as capital Y, then the program will go to the right hand side. Otherwise, if they key anything else, it will go to the left hand side. We know that the user sometimes key small letters or they key the full word. So you will use this symbol here to indicate that it is a OR. The user can key the answer as capital Y, or let's copy and paste here. The user can key as small letter y, or the user can key as YES, all caps, or the user can key as only the Y is caps, or everything is small letter, lowercase. So usually I will key these 5 options when I want the user to key yes or no. So if they key yes, they want to play, so we will now input another message. We want to let the user know that 48 has 10 factors. I am thinking of one of them. I will key another message, and the message goes, guess which factor I am thinking of. So let's run the program and see how this looks like. So if I run it, do you want to play? So let's say I put YES, yes, and I key in 2 outputs here, so it will be 2 rows like this. Now, what happens if the user says no? Then I will just end the program here with a message. Maybe next time, have a great day. So if the user key no, so let's play, and if I just key no, Maybe next time, have a great day. Or if the user key anything other than yes, I'll key, let's say, happy. Okay, and then it will end. You will only go to the right-hand side if the user key these 5 options. Okay, so now I want the user to key in their answers now, the factor, right? And let's call this factor now, which is the answer they want to key in. And remember to declare that the factor is an integer. So I'll declare that it's an integer now. The variable was factor and it's an integer. So I click integer, press OK. What this means is that if the factor or the answer is wrong, they will have to keep guessing again and again till they get it right. So we'll use something called a while loop, which is the symbol here. I will click on this arrow. I will click on the while loop. So double click on it. What I want to key now is if the factor or while the factor is not equal. So this is the symbol for not equal. So if it's not equal to 16, I want the student to guess the answer as 16. You can key any factor here, any factor of 48 here, but I want to use the factor 16. So while the factor is not 16, they have to keep guessing again and again and again. So that's what it means. So once they guess it wrongly, because the factor is not 16, right? I want to key a message and tell them to guess again. So open inverted comma, you guessed the number, but let's say they guess 1, 2, 4, and so on. So I want the user to know what they key in. So I will put this open inverted comma and the input that they key in just now was the variable factor, right? So I key and close inverted comma. What this means is that later the output will display what number they key in as the factor. Okay, so this will be very useful. You just key in the input in between the open and close inverted comma with the and sign. So I'll show you what this looks like later. So you guess this number, but that's not it. Try again. Okay, you realize that I didn't create any space for the user to key again. So I need to click on the arrow and now let the user key in their input, which is factor again. Now I do not need to declare the factor because I declared originally, but I need to put the input. Otherwise, there's nothing for the person to key. So let's run the program. I want to play. Which factor I'm thinking of, if I click apple, it's an invalid value. If I key a real number, let's say 6.12, because I declare it as an integer, so they'll round off 6.12 to an integer. So the program will continue to loop and loop until the user get the answer correct. Finally, if they gotten the answer correct, I'll click on the arrow here. I will say the factor that you key in is absolutely correct. Okay, and we'll say that you are a factor superstar. Remember to put a close and open inverted comma, okay, for the string of text that you want to display. And that's how we create this program. When we run it, it will look like this. Do you want to play? Yes. I'm thinking of a factor 48. Nope, that's not it. Try again. Since I know the answer is 16, if I key 16, 16 is absolutely correct. You are a factor superstar. Okay, and that's how you create a simple program involving all the fundamentals functions down here. Okay, just two more things to note about Flowgorithm. First, you can click on this source code viewer, this icon here. And you can actually see the source code. Click on the inverted triangle. Let's say I want to look at the Python code, the pseudocode here. And this is how the pseudocode for Python will look like. The one that I chose just now was actually this. Lastly, you can also download this flowchart as an image file. So what you do is you go to Tool here and you export the image file. Click on these three dots if you want to change the color. Click on these three dots if you want to change the style of the chart. I usually will just leave it as a default here. Click Create and save the file onto your desktop. Once okay, just click on Done. And that's it for the use of Flowgorithm.